back to Yarn by the Glass. My name is Reese, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to crochet the toddler hat. So for this hat we're going to be using a smaller yarn than I normally use. We're going to go down to the 3 weight, it's also called the DK weighted yarn. So it's going to be thinner than what at least I usually use for hats and scarves and things like that. And then we're also going to be using a smaller hook than we normally use, just so that everything is tighter and just so that it's a tighter knit with this hat. So their little heads are going to stay warm. All right, so let's get into what we're going to need to make this hat. All right, so for this project, we are going to be using 1 skein of any size 3 yarn. We're going to be using a size E crochet hook, or the 3.5 millimeter, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. So once you find the end of your yarn, we are going to start out by doing our slip knot, inserting our hook, all right, and we are going to start out by chaining 52. Okay, so this is going to be the height of our hat. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to be working some half double crochets into the back loops of our starting chain. All right, so we're not going to be going into this first part here. We're going to turn it, and we're going to be working into these little bumps, or the ridges behind the chain. All right, so we're going to wrap the yarn around the hook. We're going to skip the first 2 chains. And so going into the back of the 3rd chain, so into that space right there, I'm going to grab the yarn, pull through. And as you can see, we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to grab the yarn again, and we're going to pull through all 3. Wrap the yarn around the hook into the next back loop. Grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, and pull through all 3. And we're just going to repeat this until we're at the very end of our row. All right, so once we are at the end of our first row, we are going to chain 2. We are going to turn our work, and then we are going to be working into the back loops of this next row as well. But because this isn't a chain that we're working into, it's the previous row, the back loops are going to be this part right here. So instead of inserting our hook here underneath the 2 loops, we're going to go right into the center of those 2 and come out the back side. And we're still working in half double crochets, so we're going to wrap the yarn around the hook, and we are going to go, starting with the first one, into that back loop, pull the yarn out, grab the yarn, and pull through all 3. All right, so again, into the center, out the back, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through all 3. All right, so we're going to keep going until we have about 50 rows. It should come out to be about 18 inches long.
All right, so the only difference from this row and the last row is once we get to the end here, we are going to do a half double crochet into both loops. All right, so just like normal. Pull through all three, chain 2, turn your work, and repeat.
All right, so once we have reached the end of our last row, we are going to fold the whole thing in half. I'm going to flip mine over. All right, so I'm just going to start by taking that last loop that I had and pulling it through the first row. All right, and then from there, I'm just going to go through both loops of both rows. And we're just going to do single crochets. And I'm just going to do this across the entire row. So once we have that done, all right, so we're going to take our tapestry needle and we're going to insert what is left over. Apparently I have a lot. Okay. I'm actually going to cut this because I'm not going to need quite so much. It's just going to get in the way. All right, so I'm going to first put all of this through that last loop to make a knot. So we're going to close this up using a star pattern at first, okay? All right, so I'm going to start as if this were the bottom right part of the star. And I'm going to go up to the center. Over to the other corner. Bottom corner. Then to the right side. And the left. All right, so you can see it's much more close together. And so from here, I'm just going to work through and get the rest of these ends tied off. And then from there, I can just flip it inside out and we have a perfectly closed hat. All right, so from here, I'm just going to continue to weave in my ends, the top and the bottom, and that's going to do it for today. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you guys get to, or I hope your little ones get to enjoy the toddler crochet scarf. If you like these kinds of projects, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more ideas. I do try to post content at least once a week. You can also follow me on social media for quick links, upcoming videos, and so on.